freaking computer just pissed me
Oh,
off.
we're live already. Wow. I'm excellent at this. I'm so good at this. Um, hey everybody, I forgot to remind anyone that we're even doing this, so we'll even see if anyone shows up. Probably not. Wow. Just kind of never recovered after the holidays. As you can tell, I've put no lights up behind me. I am literally in the dark. It's cold. I ate too much sushi and I'd like to go to bed now. So here we are. Worth it. All right. Well, you know the spiel. Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Punky Brewster. That's my intro because I can't be bothered to come up with anything better. Truly. And I'm here with Takeerah, a.k.a. Connie Dixon for life, a.k.a. she used to be other things like Tashiyama and New Baby 420, but those are long gone. Those are long gone. She solidified her socials like I did, even though I didn't want to give up my social name because my Instagram used to be Ain't My First Rodeo. It was the best Instagram name.
It was
Such a good Instagram name, and then I had to give it up. But I just want y'all to know that it was my name. It was my name until like pretty recently, honestly. Okay, so I've been given over the ear headphones and I don't know how I feel about it. Anyway. So hello and welcome to our coverage of Found called Finding Found. NBC based on the TV show NBC's hit new TV show Found, which airs on Tuesday nights at an unholy hour. And yeah, we're talking about the 11th episode.
12th
That's
episode.
12th. I'm wrong. It's literally at the top of my screen, and I still said the wrong thing. 12th episode called Missing Well Eccentric, which was a bit of a stretch for me in terms of episode names, I felt personally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I guess it was
moving on.
because of her
love of
extracurriculars.
her love of the books.
Yeah.
Her love of the books and the secret language. Look, that's normal. That's completely normal. Eccentric my behind. Anyway, so here's the deal. We've been gone. We've been on break, so I'm not very good at this anymore. I was never really good at it to begin with, so, what can you expect? And and I've come back, and you know what? I wasn't producing regular content, and I wasn't doing this live. I just wasn't. So sorry. But we're back now, and we're not better than ever. We're like mediocre.
We're like half as good as we were.
Half as good as we were before, but you're back, baby. And so here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal. I'm a very busy woman. Okay, we all are, right? We're all busy people. But last night I was live for Jackbox Games with the podcast that I'm on, Squawking Dead. You can check it in the description if you're interested. Cover zombie stuff, mainly Walking Dead stuff, maybe other stuff. Who knows? We'll find out soon. And then I started the episode, and I had to start the episode late. So I got on to Twitter at like 10:10. Okay. I also, once I was done on the live stream, I also had to record a video for my channel, which is why I was there at 10:10. It was a fast video. I recorded as swiftly as I could. And I never found out what happened in those 10 minutes because today after work, I had to help my friend go wedding dress shopping, which is like, it was not I have to like, oh, I'm so upset about this. It was delightful, and I'm glad I got to. And no, they didn't offer us champagne, and that's fine because it gives me a headache and I didn't want it anyway. But it would have been nice if you had asked. But anyway, moving on. So Takeerah here is going to explain the first 10 minutes so that I know what the heck happened.
Hello, world. Um, I have not been prepared for anything since January 1st, 2024.
Fair.
Welcome.
We're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together soon.
Welcome. Welcome to my hot mess. Thank you. Um, so yeah,
Hello, Chanessa.
as much as I seemed to be ready on Twitter last night, I was not. But I did catch the first 10 minutes, and it pretty much was like us being in suspense, waiting to see who Gabi called, even though the whole time I was just waiting for Don to show up because everyone knows that that's who she called.
Obviously.
But he shows up and he's like, What's wrong, Gabi? What about sir? Tell me, what did you hear? And I'm like,
Okay, I knew that my theory was blown out of the water, but I am very salty about it.
I'm like, what?
Well, there she went. She'll be back. Okay, so yeah, I was unhappy with that. I know that Dawn didn't know. Okay, so here was my theory, right? I had assumed that Dawn had helped Gabi get Sir into the basement. Because how did Gabi do it by herself? Yada, yada, yada. You know, Dawn's the enforcer. So I figured, sure, he helped. So this did throw that theory just completely out. Completely out. Janessa says Don feeling some feelings. He was varying his feelings the whole
Just
episode.
angry. This is stupid. Oh, okay, I'm back.
Okay, wow. That was dramatic. Okay.
I'm so angry.
Continue.
Because all day freaking Xfinity has been like, yeah, there's an outage in your area and we're trying to fix it. And every 3 hours they push the time back 3 hours of when it's going to be fixed.
Girl, you're preaching to the choir. I had all sorts of trouble this morning. I was almost to work and I got a phone call from one of my employees saying, what do we do if the power's out? And I said, hold on a second. I got to pull over and send a text message. It was rough. And so, you know, I lived too far away and I couldn't drive back home and go back to bed, which is what I wanted to do all day. But here we are. Okay. So Don gets called. He shows up. He's in his feelings. Oh. Wait. Okay. Almost lost you again. All right. Continue.
Am I still here?
You're here.
Okay. So, he gets down there. He sees him. He freaks out. And then he kind of flips on Gabi. He does admit that, like, he found Sir for her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Told her where he was and basically did everything except knock him over the head and drag him in the basement.
Got you. Okay. So my theory was like partially right.
So he did, like, he knew some things. It wasn't, I don't think it was as shocking as it would have been because he did hunt him down. So she kind of had this thing like, well, you did all that. Why are you surprised that he's here? And he's kind of like, yeah, I did all that thinking that you were going to shoot him in the face. Not kidnap him.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Don. Great choice.
Oh no, am I still here?
You're here.
This is terrible.
You're here.
I hate this Wi-Fi.
She's literally here. Why is she not listening to me?
And I'm back.
Okay. You've been here the whole time. I could hear everything you were saying. Now she's going to be gone, I think. Janessa said he somehow lured Sir to the farmhouse where Gabi was waiting. They didn't say much else. Fair. The drama with this. Okay. Rough, tough stuff. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. She's just back and forth, back and forth. Okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's fine. It happens. We cannot control everything. It's okay. Only two people have left. It's it's fine. And honestly, they probably didn't want to be here anyway. Okay. Okay. All right. Where do we want to go from here? Do you want to talk about the main storyline? Should we talk about the main storyline first?
Okay, yes, I was trying to like ease into it if the stupid internet wasn't messing me
It's
up. I was
okay. We'll just
saying
move on in.
um that you probably missed the very beginning of us
I did.
catching
When I
um
saw her, when I started the episode, she was in the hospital. Like they had just, overheard the part with the doctor, which was wildly
okay.
inappropriate. Super judgy.
Oh my gosh, that doctor annoyed the crap out of me.
My
I
exact
was like, "Are
response to
you
Demaine
serious,
Davis
lady?"
was the medical professionals on the show are clowns.
Are you-
They are constantly doing the wrong thing. So that's where I
Okay,
started, was
so
when they found the girl. So how did they find her?
she just out of nowhere popped up on Zeke's camera, screaming for help, running from door to door, knocking,
Oh
which
my
I wrote
goodness.
down reminds me
It's like
of
that time
a
over
true
the
crime case
summer.
that is very popular.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hmm?
Go
There's a true crime case where Shannon Gilbert disappeared. I don't remember off the top of my head if she disappeared from New York or New Jersey, but it was either like
Okay.
Manhattan or very close to the area. She was a sex worker.
Okay.
She had like a bodyguard that brought her places and stuff.
Okay.
And, he brought her to an appointment. She went in by herself. He has no idea what happened while she was in there. But she came running out the house, hysterical, screaming, "Help me. He tried to kill me." The bodyguard tried to help her. She tried to fight him and just like ran off into the neighborhood.
Well, weird. Okay.
Yeah. Next thing you know, she shows up on somebody's Ring doorbell camera, screaming for her life, banging on
I
people's doors and
I
stuff
was
like
gonna
that.
say, like, I feel
Um,
like this last summer
Basically,
there was a video on TikTok that went around, and it was Ring camera footage from a street where a girl was like heard like screaming bloody murder in a car, and no one like figured out what happened, and it was very creepy to see, and it went around on TikTok for a little while.
hmm I think I remember that. But yeah, nothing else in the case reminded me of it because
Okay.
this Aisha was like a nerd girl, and
Mhm.
Shannon was a sex worker. She was kind of in the dangerous life.
Yeah.
But that beginning caught me immediately because I was like, oh, this is like reminding me of
Mhm.
some real stuff right here.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So,
Um,
okay, yeah, could you remind me of the girls' names? I know there was a Nova and there was, I don't remember. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Sorry, you keep cutting out for me because my internet sucks.
Oh, what were their
But
names?
um, the girls.
Yes.
So Aisha was the first one
Okay.
that was knocking on Zeke's door. Well, knocking
Okay.
on people's doors in Zeke's neighborhood. Then there was Estrella, Celestial, and Nova. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it bothers me to say Estrella because that's Estrella in Spanish. So when I look at it, I'm like, that's not how you say that. But it's fine. It's how they said it. So I guess that was her name. Estrella. Aisha Shanice? Was that who Nova was?
Uh oh, you cut out for me.
I don't know why I'm cutting out for you. This is really bothersome if I'm cutting out on the YouTube. Hold on. Let me do some quality control here.
I feel like it's probably just my stupid Wi-Fi, but I don't want to mess with it because I'm not dropping, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, yeah. Estrella, Aisha, Nova, and Celestial. Um, so Nova was the fake one,
Yes.
and then
Okay.
Celestial was the one that they found murdered, and then her
Oh,
friend
okay.
was Estrella.
Okay. 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 It was a lot of characters for one episode. We normally only get like maybe 2 or 3, so this was kind of a lot of people all at once. Um and also they did all have unusual names. Now, I think to some
Mm-hmm.
degree maybe those names weren't actually their names. That was like probably their screen name
That's what I'm thinking.
to some degree, because it seemed like this, if I'm not mistaken, this was like we met in IRL for the first time at this party, is the vibe I got. It's hard to have a conversation
Right.
when the other
Yeah.
half cannot hear what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real problem. Do you want to try to like
Or I think
reconnect?
they,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, they met at the party. Or they, what did they,
Oh, you're just lagging. Oh, okay. You're just lagging really badly. It's okay. I will
okay,
wait for
yes.
your
I'll
responses.
be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize everybody for these technical difficulties. Obviously there's been some, I think everyone's really been on the East Coast, at least, has really been dealing with internet issues lately because of, we had huge storms in the Southeast yesterday, and I know that affected a lot of people's internet. Takeerah's nowhere near there, but obviously her internet has had some outages, probably due to snowstorms.
Am I here?
You are, but can you hear me right away, or is it
I'm
delayed?
hoping I'm hearing you right away. Am I answering you right away?
Okay, great. I just
Okay.
said that. Okay, good. Okay. Whew. All right, we're back. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. So yes, to me, this that's what I had gathered from
Mm-hmm.
it, that they were really big fans of this book series, had connected online, much like the people that I know who are really into The Walking Dead, met in person, and just so happened to unfortunately meet at a party in which they were abducted. So that was really unfortunate. Um was the guy knowingly choosing women who were dressed as people from this book
It
series?
seemed like one of the girls that he just so happened to kidnap, he figured out was into that book series. So one of them was like
Okay.
kind of explaining it a little bit. And then I guess he kind of figured out, oh, so there's going to be a bunch of young black girls dressed up that follow this
Or was
particular
or was he helping to facilitate?
or that exactly.
Okay. Maybe he's going into chat rooms telling them they should meet up at this
Mm-hmm.
place.
He
Okay.
could have
All
even
right.
set up
All
that
right.
party, the big party that they had.
I get the
Yeah.
vibe. I get the vibes. I get the vibes. Okay. I was so grossed out by the lizard
Ugh.
mask.
Yeah.
Ick, dude. Ick, dude. You're the worst. You're the worst because you AR'd people and SA'd people and abducted people. But also, ew, with the lizard mask on? What's wrong with you?
I just think
Sorry, I know everybody has their kinks, but like, come on, man.
possibly his wife is worse than him. Just because.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
horrible. She is absolutely horrible. Absolutely. I agree with you
So
100%.
disgusted by the whole
Like I
situation.
said last night, the speed at which I would leave my significant other I would be out the door so fast
Oh, he needs
if
this.
I came home and my husband was like, "You know what I really need to do? I really need to abduct these women so that I can essay them all over the place." And I'd be like, "I'm calling the police. I'm
Immediately.
taking the dog. Get away from me." Also, how is all of this not enough? Just kidding. I am married and he probably would say it is enough, but like, what is this guy thinking? He's drunk or something. Anyway, he doesn't drink, so I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Um anyway, um okay. So, yeah, it was an interesting main storyline, very different than a lot of the other stuff that we've seen so far this
Mhm.
season, I feel like. I thought initially that they were going to be cosplayers.
Oh, yeah.
This is the vibe I
I
was
mean, it is
getting.
kind of that vibe.
It was to a degree. Um, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, I liked it. It was kind of nerdy. Enjoyed that. The sudden death situation was like, what just happened? Literally, like the scene cut, and it was like them standing over a body with
Mhm.
poppies laid over it, and I was like, what? I was like, is this a dream? Like that's what I thought. I was like, is someone dreaming this? Because it did not seem. It was such a juxtaposition of like what was already happening in the episode.
I
Did any or was that just me?
I feel like there was just a lot going on with like the case of the week because of how many people were involved and then just the weirdness surrounding all of it.
Yeah. It was an unusual story. I mean, totally believable. So very, very believable. And unfortunately, there in a lot of cases of true crime, either the woman has the wife or the girlfriend or whatever of the person who commits the crimes. Often, I should just say significant other because there's gross women too. But anyway, often either they're completely unaware or they
They're
help by
helping.
helping
Yep.
to abduct or even going as far as to also essay the person
Mhm.
because it's something that they do together, which is just like, ugh, so icky. Because I can't even describe how gross it makes me feel. Mainly because I ate too much sushi and I already feel like I'm gonna throw up. But
You know what the case also made me think about? We were wondering in earlier episodes, like, why they chose to kind of make Sir mild as far as the fact, like, that he didn't
yes,
essay.
yes.
And then I was like, well, I guess in this episode they threw all that out the window of just being mild.
Well, oh, okay. She disappeared again. I think part of that has to do with the fact that he's I don't want to say he's ever going to be redeemable because he's not, right? But he's like, if it goes that far, then he's completely irredeemable. And then there's no reason to like want him on the show anymore or want to like fight for him to still be on the show. So I think there's something to that. I was just saying that if it went that far with him, he would be completely irredeemable.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want that because he is one of your main characters. So you
Right.
need like not that he's going to get a redemption arc because I don't think he's going
Yeah, no.
to, but like it's a fine line, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't have it go too far. Um okay. Is there anything else that you guys would like us to touch on when it comes to the main case? We will continue to move forward in the meantime, but if you bring anything up, we'll just jog on back. All right. I think we're gonna. Chinessa says agreed. Thank you, Chinessa. I think that Chinessa were also. I'm sorry, off topic. Chinessa, were you the person who did the Q&A today? Because I'd be interested for you to share anything, really interesting that you found out today if you did. There was a Q&A today between Domain Davis and someone else, but it had to do with Found. It had to do with the show. So, okay. So moving on from there, let's talk Zeke.
Oh,
Let's talk Zeke. Did they say how she escaped? I don't think they did
mm-mm.
say how she escaped.
But they did show, Zeke watch her in rewind
Mhm.
to see where she came from.
Okay.
Um, and that's how he figured out the white van. But
Oh,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, got you. Okay, correct. That's correct.
but the specifics, no.
No. Interesting too because it didn't seem like a real escapable situation, but
Right.
I mean
Although I just feel like the
sometimes
wife
they just
probably.
flub. So,
Hmm.
those are always the stories you hear like they didn't lock it correctly that time or
I feel like the wife probably messed up because she like did but didn't want to be there helping. She was so stupid. Um,
she was. She was. I gotta help my man. Ugh.
it's so funny because she goes in to M&A, and as soon as the screen goes to her face, Richie's like, "Well, she looks like a fire-haired lizard right there."
Nice. Nice. Amazing.
Yeah.
um okay, so let's talk about Zeke. So Zeke didn't get a ton of screen time this episode, but he was pretty critical to everything. One, he's the person who helped to find the missing person, even though we didn't know she was missing.
Hmm.
Um, he was the one to solve that it was the white van that had
Hmm.
taken. He was on the phone with Gabby when she was abducted so that
Hmm.
she could be saved. And then he also attempted yet again to leave his apartment. He didn't go as far as last time. So there was no head injury or anything like that. But there was there was a mental injury. So you could tell he really was frustrated. And I can only imagine agoraphobia is a real thing, obviously. And I cannot imagine it being so severe and really just struggling with being able to participate in life, you know? You
And I
miss out on
think,
so much by not being out in the real world. I think we get really used to, especially during COVID, I think all of us kind of got used to like being in our house. And
yeah.
yeah, we have all the modern conveniences of stuff arriving but didn't you miss being not in your house so much?
Hmm.
I can't imagine being forced to kind of live within your own mental prison. I mean, we all have stuff like that, but this is so definitive.
It's so crazy because I guess using my newfound knowledge, the stress of the situation exacerbated him to the point that he couldn't like go as far as
Mhm.
he could before. Because before it was just like, oh, I need this package. I can like try to inch myself out at a time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And this time it was like, no, I need to get out there right now. And the stress levels were up and the adrenaline was up. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like he just kind of passed out again, but not completely.
Yeah, yeah, it seemed like yeah, like it was a toss up between I'm too exhausted to continue and like I don't want to do this I'm just not going to try this anymore. It's not going to go well. So,
And then he
I did
probably did have the fear of another head injury and
yes.
just,
So, yeah, I'm sure that's lingering now constantly. That probably made the agoraphobia even worse. Um I I love that we got to see Lacey there
mm-hmm.
and that she got to comfort him because again, I don't care what y'all shippers say about Don and Zeke. It's obviously Lacey and Zeke, so please stop. Don is a married man. He's married to his therapist. That's its own thing. Okay? But he's married to his therapist. Janessa says she was not at the Q&A today. Okay, I had someone that I follow said that they were at the Q&A today. I'm so sorry. I thought it was you. That would have been very fun. I apologize for bringing it up and rubbing salt in the wound. I'm so sorry.
I'm literally gonna be like, so Domain, how was your Q&A today?
Oh yeah, you're gonna tweet her right now, live on
Tweet her
air.
right now,
All right,
live.
go ahead, live tweet it. That's not what live tweeting is, but go ahead. I like to live tweet. I just come on my YouTube channel and I read my tweets out loud live to you. Um, so hopefully we'll get more information about the Q&A that happened today later. Okay, so Zeke had that nice little hero moment. I think it really helped to solidify our love of him and our desperation for him to get better. Margaret also had quite a moment during the episode. She was pretty background for the majority of this episode. She was in the hospital room with Aisha. So we did see that, but we didn't get a ton else out of her. The only other really impactful piece is that when Gabby is missing, she is on the cusp of a mentee B.
Mm-hmm. But
She
also,
ain't
just
okay.
that whole time, like, first of all, Don didn't even want to look at her, and he didn't even want her to look at him. And
Are
then
you talking
kind
about
of the
Gabby?
no, Margaret.
Margaret. Okay, because of her sleuthing. Okay.
Hmm. And then same with Gabby. Like when Gabby came around, it was just a, like even slightly comical watching the look on her face as she's watching them try to act like there's nothing wrong when something's
Well, she
clearly
knows
wrong.
something's wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
she knows something's going on, obviously. She always knows. Okay, now someone did bring up last night during the live tweet that did she not go to the train station?
Oh,
I don't know if it was
well,
Janessa. Maybe it was Janessa that brought this up. Now that is a really there she goes, Janessa. Did she not go to the bus station? She didn't,
I
as
don't think
far
she
as we
did.
saw.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
So she did decide to prioritize Gabby, which is interesting.
I don't even
Now,
think it was a
time has
decision.
time has passed, so we don't know how much work she's done in therapy. We don't know how many hours she's down to in terms of like visiting the bus station. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see, but hopefully they'll touch on that this next episode.
I feel like it probably wasn't a decision. Just even the things she was saying, like in the middle of her slight mental breakdown, it's one thing to like really be lost in your grief and lost in your own situation of wanting somebody back and then about to lose someone that's already there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, her fear of loss is really becoming evident, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
as we move forward in her storyline. Not only because her son was abducted, but also because she lost everything else as a consequence of her actions
Mm-hmm.
after that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Margaret. We didn't really get much else. Some great acting, spectacular acting in that moment. She felt very desperate.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful piece of acting.
And she attacked Don.
Janessa said this episode immediately followed the last, so no time had passed. Did it? Oh, duh, because of the phone call. I am such an idiot. You're right.
Oh, yes, yes,
You're
yes,
right. Thank you,
yes.
Janessa.
But
What would
how
we
much
do without you?
time, like, I feel like
Well, we don't
she's
know how much time has passed from the initial therapy, the like immersion therapy to
right.
now. We don't know how much time has passed there, but yeah, you're right. Maybe she was there while they were at the club, then came straight to them. That's a possibility because she was not at the club.
Oh, oh,
So that's a possibility too.
okay.
They really didn't address it in the episode, which makes me wonder if it's going to be addressed in the next episode. Because every time I'm like, that's a detail that they didn't talk about. They do go back to them, like the ribbon.
Right.
They do go back to it eventually, so maybe we'll touch on it in the next
You
episode.
know, I was almost expecting Gabby to say something that she's always the one to kind of realize out of the blue, like, you're not at the bus station. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so
But if it was
maybe
at the
next.
club, she was immediately abducted. So
Right. That's true. Yeah.
so she wouldn't have been able to say anything about it. Okay. So Margaret, Zeke, not a ton of Lacey in this episode either.
No, she
Not
just to me
much.
felt like a lost child in this episode because all I can think about is like her panic when Gabby disappeared
Mm-hmm.
and like she almost was like, "Guys, stop fighting." I mean, she kind of like a kid, you know, like, "Guys, stop
Mm-hmm.
fighting."
When she reunited with Gabby in the hospital hallway,
Yeah.
Frankenstein, please stop. Nobody needs to hear that. She's whining. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Um, when they reunited, it really did remind me of the age difference
Yeah.
and how precious that relationship is to both of them. But it made me really think of like, yeah, this is like a surrogate daughter to her because of what they went through. I think you could
Oh,
say sister, but there's such a protective
yeah.
layer
I
there that
mean,
it really does seem parental in a way.
it does, but there are some big sisters that, like, I was more of like a parent to my siblings than
Hmm.
a sister.
But that usually signifies a pretty big age difference when
Yeah.
that happens. Yeah.
Um, I did want to point out my comment that I said on Twitter, which I just kept saying and kept thinking and typed a couple times, like, y'all see Don's reaction to Sir, right?
Mhm.
Don, who helped her hunt down Sir
Mhm.
and gave her a location and helped her a
Yes.
lot.
Yes.
And then imagine Lacey's reaction.
It's gonna break her. I don't know how she's gonna deal with this. I don't even really want to speculate on it because we're gonna get enough of it this next episode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. So not much Lacey, not much Zeke, not much Margaret. This is predominantly, the main storyline, Gabby, Sir, and Don. It's like
Hmm.
this little three thing that's happening. Marcus, hey, it's just
Marcus. Can't stay going to a family game night. Monopoly is gonna get crazy. Oh, so it's gonna be like 6 hours of crazy if you're playing Monopoly.
how do I still have a cough?
You and Tricity.
We're like 10 weeks in now, and I still have a cough. My throat is also very sore right now, very suddenly. So I'm a little worried about what's happening to me at this moment in time. Anyway, let's just chalk it up to not drinking enough water, shall we? So Marcus is going to go play the world's longest game. This is
Mhm.
Monopoly, the longest game in the world. Have fun, Marcus. Don't flip a table. Uh, so okay, so yeah, so we get predominantly these three characters. Well, one, there's the portion that Gabby was abducted by this crazy lizard, right? And obviously she survives. She's tough. She fights him. The other girl fights him, which is really
Hmm.
gratifying to see. You
Loved it.
also get this really nice moment where Dawn and Trent are running up and they're gonna save Gabby, but she manages to break free before that happens.
Yes.
That was a very intentional. They didn't want her to be the damsel in distress. They wanted to
Hmm.
show like she is a capable human. And I really liked seeing that. I thought that was a nice touch. Chanessa said it was so nice to finally see Sir interact with someone else.
It
I
was.
agree. It was
Yeah.
interesting. It was weird, but it was kind of refreshing in an unusual way. So this whole storyline with Sir and Don and Gabi is very unusual. Gabi lets Don know what's going on. Gabi goes missing. Don has to go talk to Sir to figure it out. It gives
Sir
him
comes up with a new nickname.
yes. It comes up with it ends up becoming I'm sorry, I'm like losing my words as I'm talking. It ends up becoming kind of like Don has an issue with the way that Gabi's handled things, then is pressured into a point where he has to then rely on Sir like Gabi has.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I just found out about this. My husband just told me about this. He's a huge nerd when it comes to like television and stuff, and he loves finding out like more about like the background stuff, not like behind the scenes, but just like like just general information about like writing and stuff. He told me about a device. It's a writing device called Chekhov's gun. And what it means is that if there's a gun that's introduced in the first act, you are guaranteed that it will be utilized in the final act. Okay? It's like think of any TV show you've ever watched. Like it's the introduction of something at the beginning is going to result in that something coming together at the end, right? So this is one of those situations where Don, knowing that Sir is around and being upset about that, is introduced in the first act, and that comes full circle in the final act. So this was a piece of Chekhov's gun, which is just kind of interesting. It's just an interesting tidbit to know. Hold on one second here. If you can keep talking, let me try to fix that.
So I don't know why Sir's interactions with people just leave me completely tickled. But the way he kept practically hissing the executioner at Gabi and at Don just had me cracking up the whole time. Uh-oh, something went wrong. Can you still hear me?
I can. I'm
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that
I
was
just
me.
wanted to make
Let me see if I can get it to
so yes, but I didn't understand. I mean, I guess maybe Sir wanted to goad Don into a fight, and that's why he was like saying all that stuff to him that in my opinion would have made me go down there and just shoot him.
he was talking a lot of trash. A lot of trash.
But then, there was time to fight, but he had lost his mind because Gabi was missing at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing such a visceral reaction from Sir was upsetting. It was also such a control thing, right? Because like he's the one who gets to do that, not anybody else. Who does this lizard man think he is? Like, was just a really whole weird dynamic happening. I do want to talk on the flashback. Okay. So get a flashback to Gabi in school. We now know, based on previous episodes, that Hugh or Sir is her teacher in English, and he lures her with the promise of first edition books out to the woods. I want to propose a question to you. Do you think that if she hadn't hugged him, he would have done what he did?
Here's why that's such an awesome question. Because I was sitting here trying to figure out, because I wanted to ask the question of why the sudden desperation. Like you could see it all over him, the desperation. And I was thinking, is it the end of the school year that's kind of setting him off? Is it, the dad coming at the last minute? I couldn't figure out what it was, but it's the hug.
His face, it's really great acting. Mark Paul is phenomenal. There's just there's nothing else to say. It is constantly shocking to me how good of an actor he is. I guess we've just not been we've not been blessed with this. We were given
Right.
Zach Morris, and that's all
Yeah.
we knew before. And he's just a phenomenal actor. And so there's this look that washes over his face when she hugs him. And in my mind, I was like, is this the moment that he thinks that his feelings are reciprocated?
Hmm.
Is this it for him? Because he immediately does the luring right after. So it's like, this is my opportunity. Now's the chance. If I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. Yes, Chanessa, and the fact that she initiated
Yeah.
the hug. Correct. So
And
I think there's
and
something to
combine it
that.
with the little doodles that he saw that he thought were about him from previous
Mhm.
episodes.
Yes.
So yeah, putting it all together makes sense. He
Yeah,
definitely.
I think he felt like it was reciprocated, and so he thought, now's my chance. Now, what got me just tickled was the line, I have these books. I've got them put away in my favorite place. I think you'll love it. And to that I said, my favorite place, a dilapidated cabin. I think you'll love it. Dude, really? Are you for real? That's your favorite place? That's your favorite place.
You're a neat freak, and it's covered in filth and
It's
dust, and
horrible.
it's your
It's
favorite
and there's
place.
literally holes in the walls.
Like, what is happening?
Awful. It's beyond me. Anyway, just tickled. Just tickled by it. Just a ridiculous thing to say. Um I it was just I feel like the hug did it. I feel like the hug
Hmm.
really did it, and I just kind of want us to sit on that. It's not victim blaming. I'm not saying that it's her fault by any means. I just think that gave him the fuel that he
Yeah.
needed. Yeah.
Hmm.
Chanessa said he also made that comment about you could choose to be anywhere and you're here. And that felt like it was targeted to Gabby. Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
things were probably targeted at her without her realizing it throughout her
Yeah.
school year.
Oh, yeah.
Um, oh, it's so creepy. And I don't know why it just made me flash back to like when I was graduating from high school. I went over to this teacher that I felt had an impact on me, and I gave him a hug. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so much shorter than him that I could see as the shock flashed across his face, like when I hugged him. I don't know why it just made me think of that. Like that could have been a sir.
Well, the thing is that a lot of the time teachers will not allow for that kind of physical affection, especially
Hmm.
in like high school aged and up,
Yeah.
like because it is considered really inappropriate, and those people are impactful to your life. Like
Hmm.
I still have very fond memories of some of the teachers that I had in high school, and they did have a profound impact on the person that I am now, whether that was a negative or positive.
Right.
They had a profound impact on me. And so I don't think it's inappropriate. I that seems too harsh to me,
Hmm.
but it can be taken the wrong way, and so as a result, I think most teachers just shy away from it, especially men.
Yes.
Especially men. That's the last thing you want. It's going to ruin your whole career.
I didn't think about it until I got, way older, but I was thinking that man was probably like, oh my God, the whole school is here. She's
Yeah.
17. I'm a
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Yep. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my
I'm going
job.
to
I'm going to
lose
lose
my
my job.
job. Yeah.
um yeah, so I it it reminds me, I don't know. I love The Office. I watch The Office obsessively. And there's this episode where Michael is talking about how in middle school he had the coolest teacher and he used to hang out with all of the students and he was super cool. And then he got into some trouble because he was dating one of the students. So yeah, pretty much ruined eighth grade for me or something is what he says. It's just like ridiculous. Anyway, it reminds me of that. So just to add some levity to this really depressing conversation. Um So yeah, I felt like I just wanted to touch on that. That was really the big thing from the flashback for me. We know where that flashback leads. Obviously, they go to the cabin. He keeps her there. Her dad is waiting for her. That whole thing. We do get some information from Sir this episode that he did talk with Gabby's dad
Yeah.
while she was missing,
What's
which
wrong
was
with
a
him?
it was upsetting to hear. It was very upsetting to hear.
Ugh.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
It was very hard to hear.
I think that was the moment that I said on Twitter, like, oh, so he's digging his grave at this point. Because
That
why
was
would you
tough.
even mention her father?
That was tough. Yeah, that like and that he had been looking for her. So all the stuff he had said was a lie and but that she still belonged with him
Mm-hmm.
instead, which was just weird. I'm hoping and praying that for next season we get more about Sir's background because
Oh, yeah.
I am just so intrigued into how we got here. I need to
Uh,
know more. I need to know more about the woman at the apartment building.
Me
I just
too.
need to know more. I just need to know more. Janessa said, I knew there was no way her dad wasn't looking.
Right.
Of course, we all knew that. We
Yeah.
all knew that. There's no way he wasn't looking. What kind of father would he be? I mean, he did love her.
Mm.
Just because you're a drunk doesn't mean you don't love people.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
even
freaking
Frank
sad.
Gallagher has his moments, you know? Um,
Like, nobody messes with Frank's family except Frank, basically.
Janessa said, and then she brought up his mommy issues. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Just payback. I'll
Not
dish it out too.
not to back all the way track all the way back, but I forgot that I wrote down. I said Gabby figured out who this B word was with a damn box on her head.
Oh
She,
yeah, that was clever. I liked that. There was. It's like this was one of those episodes where there were obviously scenes cut. This
mm-hmm,
was another one of those episodes because knowing that they got because we didn't know enough about the book series
right.
to really gather what was happening because when Aisha sees Zeke, she yells in the made up language from the book, and we're like, "What was that?" And it kind of like it just like rolls right past it, and then it comes back again. Chekhov's gun. It comes back. That happened in the first act. Comes back in the last act, where you're getting it again. But yeah, we didn't get much about like what had happened with them reading the books and how much of it did they take away from it and what was the story about. And we only got like the brief synopsis from Margaret. That was really all we got. We didn't get much beyond that. So
And I really was trying to look this book up too.
I
Like
figured it was
anything.
fake. I figured it was fake. So Dawn is feeling like Gabby has lied about what's going on. She's gone about doing things the wrong way, and Don would have preferred that Sir just be killed, which is worse. But okay. Um, and at the end, Gabby decides that she is going to come clean to Trent, and she's going to hand Sir over. And now we all know what's going to happen, right? We all know. We've been waiting. We've been waiting the whole season.
The whole
The
season.
first trailer had clips of blood smeared all over the walls and a missing Sir from the basement.
At the moment that Gabby walked out into a dark, empty parking lot alone, going, White van? I was like, oh, he's finally going to escape now.
And he did. And he did. Because he was so upset that Gabby was taken. So now I'm like, okay, so you escaped to go save Gabby, but now Gabby is saved. So what are you doing? And thus begins the story of season 2, I'm
Season two,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure.
About halfway through the season, I was saying to myself, like, you know, how could the season
What
end?
yeah, where do you go from here, right? Which is just
Right.
gonna keep him forever in the basement. It's like it's just it gets played out after a while. So, yeah, it makes sense
I'm
he has
like,
to escape.
yeah, no, something's gonna happen to make him finally reveal that he could have gotten out the whole time.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
And I wrote down because it was just hilarious. I said, "She can't hear you, you damn fool," because he's like, "Gabrielle,
Gabby! Yeah, I know.
Gabrielle."
Wow. Wow, dude. Wow.
She can't hear you.
It's the love of his life, Takeerah. That's his Stella moment.
I knew it.
Like
I was
Rocky.
like, "Oh, Don, you don't even know what you did, do you?"
Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Shouldn't have told him.
And
Should not
brought
have.
her down like she was a file. I think that made it worse. Like instead of just coming down like Gabby's missing, tell me something, help me. He had to bring the whole file down.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep. Yep.
oh
Um, yeah. I'm excited for this last episode. I think it's gonna be really good. I'm excited to see it. Um, hitting the bejesus out of the concrete. For real. That's why there's gonna be blood all over the walls.
yeah.
I'm excited to find that. Now I will say what I said last night. If there's no body, there ain't no crime.
Hmm.
So I think that's how Gabby's gonna get off the hook with this one.
Yeah, there is nothing
um,
to admit to.
nope, nope, there's not. I am suddenly just feeling not well.
Uh-oh.
And it's about that time anyway. So I think we're just gonna have to call it quits. Uh, I love you guys so much. I did miss you over the break, so I'm so glad that we're back, even though it is for a short period of time. Now, Takeerah and I did talk earlier this evening about what we wanted to do with the break and what we wanted to do with the next episode being the last episode of the season. So what we've decided is that we will go live at our normal time next week, and we will go live 2 weeks following at the same time as well. One of which will be to discuss true crime cases that resemble Gabby's story. Not anything crazy, but just, nothing super involved. Just want to talk about a couple cases that remind us of this. We will also go live to discuss a special request from a viewer previously. We've mentioned they wanted us to put together playlists for the characters. So we will do that. We have just talked about it. We will make those playlists available on Spotify and Apple Music. And then that way you guys can listen to the songs that we've chosen for each character, but we will discuss the songs we chose for each character and why we chose them. So we will continue for 3 more weeks in this Finding Found series, and then we will take a reprieve until season 2. There will be other content. I put out a video last night about the Walking Dead universe supply drop box, which is a subscription box that I receive and no longer because I canceled it because it's absolute garbage.
Mhm.
Um, and I will be back to my normal content, very much zombie related, in the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for those videos from me. But we will kind of take a reprieve after that 3 weeks. So you guys just emotionally prepare yourselves for that. But also, we want you to be there. Obviously, the show will be over, but we will still be discussing things applicable to the show. Janessa said Trent texted her that he wanted to talk to her. Is he going to drop the L word? Well, he's got it bad, so that
Mhm.
wouldn't surprise me at all, Janessa, at all.
And then her life was in danger, so it just makes all
Yeah.
kinds of things be put in perspective for people.
Yeah. I'm realizing I never took my heart medication this morning, and I think I forgot to take it last night too. So I think that might be why I'm just not feeling great right now. So I'm gonna go. I know it's just stupid. It's just like foolishness on my end. It's okay. I'll live, or I am still currently alive, so that's good. Uh, so there's that. Um, just not feeling great. That's all. These also mess up my like equilibrium. I feel like I don't know. I'm not okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, for listening, for doing whatever it is that you're doing. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already. Please also make sure that you're subscribed to Takeerah's channel if you're not already, and make sure that you head and click like on this video. These live streams have gotten quite a lot of views in the last couple weeks, so I'm just extremely thankful for that. Please, make sure if you have any questions, you guys leave comments. We're happy to answer them. We try to be as prompt with answering questions as we can be. So go ahead. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to cover, Takeerah and I, because again, this is my channel, so I do my own thing here, and I do a lot of like horror based stuff, which is why this didn't feel like such a far off step because it's really true crime similar. If there's anything else that you'd like us to cover, go ahead and mention that to us as well. Feel free to comment that in the videos. In the next upcoming video. So we love you guys.
If you miss me while I'm gone, I'm always on Twitter.
She is always on Twitter. And she'll be doing some really cool stuff coming up. So keep an eye out. Yes. All right. We love you guys.
We'll
see you next week for the last episode. And I didn't look up the name, but I'm just gonna go because we're just gonna go. It's gonna be fine. I gotta go take my meds. Okay. Bye guys.
Bye guys.
Love you.